You're on the best of the morning X. Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy.
99X.
Now, I was watching Blind Date because you got me hooked on that show.
Love that show.
What time is that on? Like 12? 1?
12 to 1, I guess.
Something like
They
that.
replay it late at night, I think.
So the other day they were showing, it was kind of like a highlight show where they were showing the best of the worst of, like the dates gone wrong, the best bad dates.
Dates from hell.
Dates from hell, that's what they called it.
Yeah.
That's right. And they were showing, people who just clearly did not get along from the outset. And my favorite ones though were the ones where the guy or the girl literally got up and walked out in the middle of the date.
I've seen a couple of those.
Yeah, there was one, and this guy was out with a. I mean, she was just. I don't even know how he lasted. I don't even know how he lasted the car ride. And
did he leave or did she leave?
He walked up.
Left?
He got up and he said, "You know what? Have a nice meal." And
was it
he
one
left.
of those girls that nothing he could say could make her even remotely entertained?
Nothing. She had no sense of humor. Yeah. She thought she was so hot.
I love those dates from hell.
Yeah, that's why people want.
Yeah.
People don't care. Well, I guess
there's always something going on those dates.
Maybe some of the women,
because they take them to the hot tub or they take them to somewhere to. They give them liquor like crazy. Drink.
Yeah. I think that the women who watch that show probably watch to see the dates that work out because they like love stories. The guys who watch that show like seeing
disaster.
Yeah, we want to see the disasters. Yeah. So anyway, they're showing this date. The guy they're just bickering the whole time. Everything he likes, she hates. Everything she likes, he hates. There is no common ground whatsoever. I mean, it's just this tension the whole time. Anyway, and he gets up and he walks out. And I was thinking to myself, like, I've been on a lot of dates. I'm 40. I've been on many, many, many dates. And some that were fairly bad. I cannot think of ever a date going that bad that I've actually walked out in the middle of the date.
Bad.
I can't even conceive a date. Now, I have taken home girls early.
What do you say? Hey,
Well,
I got a busy day tomorrow.
I'll tell you exactly what it was. We were going to, it was like, and not even a friend, it was an acquaintance's wedding, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a wedding that I went to because I'm an acquaintance, not a great friend. It was like, I'll make an appearance, kind of.
Yeah.
I'll show up, say hi.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show up, say hi.
Sign the book.
Sign the book.
Yeah. It's a sign the book wedding.
I
love those.
Yeah, it was a bare minimum. It was one of those. So, so I took her, and I mean, she was just like pouty and whiny from the minute she got in the car. I mean, complaining about everything, and throughout the whole thing, never cracked a smile. I mean, just everything was just put her out, and the wedding, we were there for about 2 hours. I said, and we were going to go to dinner afterwards, or we were going to go out and do something like to a show or whatever. I was like, how about I think I'll just take you home now. How's that?
And no argument?
And I don't remember. I think at that point I didn't even care.
Shocker? Did she look at you like, my God, I can't believe he called me on it?
I think she was a little surprised, like, okay. But I was having such a bad time. It was the only time on a date I've ever had a bad time. Usually,
I had a friend in high school who went to the senior prom with this girl and just was having the worst time. So at dinner, he faked like he had gotten sick.
Yeah.
And brought her home. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm having a horrible time. So later on that night, she goes to this big prom party, and
there he is.
He's there throwing down a few.
I feel better.
Yeah. That being said, I can probably name 3 or 4 cases where I've had women cut the date short on me. I mean, it's not like... I'm not the date sent from heaven always.
But it's harder if you're the woman, I think, because you're probably in his car, he's driving, unless you just leave.
Well, but a woman can always fake illness. Women fake illness a lot. Their stomach hurts.
I just don't feel good.
Yeah, I don't feel good. I have to get up early.
Women also get the mandatory sympathy card,
It's funny you bring this topic up because my friend Travis is here in studio, and
I was going to ask you before. Have you ever walked out in the middle of a date?
That's what I'm saying. Funny you bring that up.
Oh, okay.
I have.
You have.
And Travis was a part of it.
Oh, you were there.
You talk about bad dates. I got a bad date for you.
What happened?
Not that Mr. Barnes would know that.
This is you're like Barnes' one of his oldest friends.
Yeah, we're college buddies. We met at the University of Texas.
Used to sleep under my drums in my dorm room because his dorm room was so bad.
Really?
He lived in you lived in a pit.
It was a pit.
So I lived in this high-rise dorm on campus.
Of course you did.
It was not nice by any means.
Had its own
compared
zip code,
to
though.
Had its own zip code. It's the biggest dorm in the United States.
Right.
But I met Travis, and we were, from scalping tickets to doing all kinds of crap when we were in college. Ended up living underneath my drum set because I brought my drum set to the dorm.
That's nice.
Oh, that'll go
He used to
over
get
well.
requests from people 5 floors down.
I know.
For songs.
So we'd have a 10-story dorm. We're in the 10-story building and a 14-story building, and it looks like a prison.
Yeah.
It's this ugly building, and I had my Neil Peart drum set at the time. I had like 6 toms. You can just hear the
dorm.
whole.
Oh, you must have been the most
yeah.
popular guy on that floor.
People loved it. Hey, can you play U2 Sunday Bloody Sunday? They'd phone in requests. It was fun. Anyway, this is the man who lived under the drums. So tell him about the date.
Well, I was quite interested, quite taken in a young lady, and she had a friend that was needing to be set up. And knowing the old adage that beautiful women run in packs, well, we were following the opposite approach, and so we decided that it might be a good risk for Mr. Barnes to take to double date. And he showed up over at first of all, the girls showed up over at my place. And
they were all at his place.
I knew right away we were probably going to be in trouble. And Mr. Barnes swaggers in, and in mid-swagger stopped and just I've never heard him speechless.
That's a 19-year-old Barnes, by the way.
And he's speechless because the friend is not as advertised.
I'll buy that. Yeah.
So you walk in and
very nice young lady, I might.
Very
Very
nice. She's very
sweet.
nice.
Very
Right.
nice. But we decided that we were on a budget, so we decided to go bowling and go down to the student union. And
You mean you actually got Barnes out of the house? I thought at that point you'd pull the plug.
Yeah, it caught me off
How
guard,
bad?
so I was just going with, okay.
Right.
They were like, let's go to the Union, which is a 2-block walk.
Right.
Jumping on the grenade for a friend.
That's right, Barnes.
Well, not so fast.
not so fast, my young friend.
Have you met Barnes?
We divvy up to go get some shoes and waited for Mr. Barnes to return with his size 14s. And never saw Mr. Barnes again that evening.
Oh, you're the one.
But how was your date with those 2 girls?
Went out for some multicolored shoes and came back with nothing.
You
What
bolted.
excuse did you give for him?
Well,
I did a lot of bumbling.
What did you
and,
say?
Just, what can you say? I can make no excuse for my friend. And,
Oh, what was she doing?
you got off easy.
she took it in stride, almost like it had happened to her before. But she was pretty nice about it. But needless to say, we didn't do much bowling.
Well, the whole time I was just feverishly trying to think of what I could do, and I didn't know what to do.
It was fight or flight mode.
I
just
didn't-
ran.
And we go and set up at the computer back in 1986. They had the little computer, you get down and get ready to bowl. And so I went and looked for a ball, and I started thinking, what if I just leave? And so I found the ball, and I set it down. I was like, I need to get shoes, and they were already lacing up. So I went to get shoes and just disappeared into the fray and never
He
came
put on
back.
his track shoes that night.
He looks to the right of him, and there's her, and he looks to the left of him, and there's freedom. And he's like a prisoner. He's like a prisoner on his way to the penitentiary.
Now, Barnes,
and
you could have played a nice, fun game. You could have bowled for an hour.
I was so freaked out.
That would have been the classy thing to do, Leslie. And
Oh, yeah, that's right,
we attempted that afterwards, and needless to say, we couldn't make it through 10 frames.
God, I feel bad for her.
I felt bad for her too, and I felt very bad for me because I was struggling through that one as well.
Oh,
now
yeah.
because
Where is she now? She's some supermodel now in New York.
Yeah, he's going to show up on
sure.
Springer on one of those episodes. I used to be a geek, and now I'm chic.
Have you ever completely walked? See, Rich, you're no fun. You've been dating the same girl for 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
You got, there's no history. Anybody in the room? Sarah, Allie?
I mean, what if you're not
walk
digging
out
it
on a date?
just hit the road.
No,
Can't do it. That's
you
just
don't
impossible.
just walk out in the middle of the day.
It's the worst.
And not only did I walk, I mean, when I hit that door on the side of the bowling alley, I ran. I ran back to the dorm. I just started running. I didn't know what else to do.
I'm not saying there aren't some people who deserve to be walked out on in the middle of the day. I mean, some people do deserve it. If you,
But Jimmy, your example of the blind date story, though,
Right.
the guy said, "Enjoy your dinner," and left. He didn't go off for bowling shoes and never come back. I think that's the difference.
That's right.
there.
He didn't disappear at the shoe rental.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Travis since then. So good to see you again. I'm glad that day worked out. Crash, did you ever leave?
The year was 1987.
Hey, about the same time.
Candy store, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I happened to hook up.
store.
We go from the beach in Lauderdale to the candy store, which is no longer there, and I miss it. And after a few more beverages, every trip to the bathroom, I'm thinking, the hell am I doing here? Literally, with a tab probably somewhere above $100, I literally left her sitting at the table at the candy store.
That doesn't sound like you.
To this day, I have no clue where she is, what happened. All I know is I didn't even drive my car. I just literally got into a cab and went home from
Did you
Fort
say you were
Lauderdale
going to the
Strip.
bathroom?
Nothing.
Or?
I got up because I was doing a lot of trips to the bathroom because drinking a few beers. You do
You
the
didn't say I'd be right back.
Nothing. And I said, I'm out of here. See ya.
At least I left her with company, with Travis and with that other girl.
She had company. She had about $100 tab.
Yeah, at least Barnes was a gentleman about it. Listen to Barnes. At least I
left her with friends.
But Crash, that is horrible what I did.
Let's get some calls. Take a break. You ever walked out on a date completely? We'd love to hear about it.
There's more to this story you don't want to miss, and it resumes right after this brief break. This is the best of the Morning X on 99X.